If I could go back in time and sit down with my younger self, I wouldn't hand him a stack of cash or a book about investment. I would simply share a few quiet truths, money lessons that took me a lifetime to understand. Because when you grow older, you begin to see that money, though powerful, is only a tool. It can open doors, yes, but it can also close hearts. And while it can fill your pockets, it can never truly fill your soul. When I was young, I believed money was everything. I thought success meant having more than others, more clothes, more things, more numbers in the bank. I worked hard, long hours, often at the expense of sleep, family, and peace. I told myself it was just temporary, that someday when I had enough, I would finally live. But someday is a slippery word. It keeps moving forward, always a few steps ahead, until one day you realize that you've chased it your whole life. I wish I'd known sooner that money can never buy time. For every overtime shift I took, I missed a sunset with my wife. For every extra dollar I earned, I lost a quiet breakfast with my children. In the moment, it felt like sacrifice for a better tomorrow. But tomorrow arrived quietly, and the moments I had traded were gone forever. If I could whisper one thing to my younger self, I would say, slow down. Don't rush through the years in pursuit of wealth, because when the pages of your life turn too quickly, you miss the beauty written between the lines. Money can buy comfort, yes, but it cannot buy another chance to hold someone you love. It can build a beautiful house, but not a home filled with laughter. It can pay for medicine, but not for health. And it can give you power, but not peace. Only time, presence, and gratitude can do that. As I grew older, I learned my second lesson: save, but don't starve your joy. For years, I saved everything. I was proud of how disciplined I was, how I denied myself small pleasures to build a cushion for the future. But in doing so, I forgot something important. Life isn't meant to be stored away for later. You can't deposit sunsets or memories in a bank account. There were trips I never took, meals I never shared, songs I never danced to because I was saving. Saving for a tomorrow that thankfully came, but came without those moments I'd missed. I wish I'd known that being responsible with money doesn't mean being afraid to use it. It means understanding balance. It means knowing when to hold back and when to live a little. There's beauty in buying a small gift for a loved one, in treating yourself to a quiet dinner out, or in taking that long-delayed trip. Those experiences add richness to life in ways that compound interest never could. Because memories, unlike money, never lose their value. Then came the hardest lesson, one I learned not from abundance but from struggle. Debt is a thief of peace. There was a time when I owed more than I had. I told myself it was manageable, that everyone lived with debt. But every night as I lay in bed, my mind was not at rest. Every borrowed dollar has a voice, and it whispers in the quiet hours, reminding you that your freedom is not fully your own. Debt binds you not just financially, but emotionally. It dictates your choices, influences your moods, and steals your serenity. If I could tell my younger self one thing about debt, it would be this: avoid it unless it is absolutely necessary. And when it is, repay it with discipline and gratitude. Because living within your means is not a sign of limitation. It is a declaration of peace. It is saying, I have enough and I am enough. When you reach that understanding, even a simple meal tastes like a feast. Even a small home feels like a palace. Another truth I discovered is that generosity multiplies. When I was young, I thought giving meant losing. If I gave a little to others, I'd have less for myself. But over the years, I learned that the opposite is true. Every time I gave from the heart, without expectation, I received something far greater in return. Not in dollars, but in peace, in gratitude, in connection. Giving doesn't always mean money. It can be time, advice, or a listening ear. It's the act of saying, I see you, I care, and you matter. And somehow, every time you give, the world finds a quiet way to give back. When you give freely, you loosen the grip that money has on your spirit. You begin to see it not as a possession, but as a river meant to flow. When it moves, it nourishes. When it's hoarded, it stagnates. And so my next lesson came softly with age. True wealth is quiet. In my youth, I believed wealth shouted. I admired those who drove expensive cars, who wore fine clothes, who lived in grand homes. But over time, I noticed something. The people who seemed the happiest, the most at peace, were often those who owned the least. They weren't showing off, they were simply content. True wealth, I've come to realize, is not measured in things, but in tranquility. It's waking up without worry. It's the health to walk in the morning sun. It's having someone to share your day with, even if that day is simple. It's laughter that costs nothing, and memories that grow richer with time. We live in a world that teaches us to compete, to constantly reach for more. But the older I get, the more I understand that abundance has nothing to do with accumulation. It's about appreciation. It's about finding joy in the small, ordinary moments that so easily pass unnoticed. The warmth of a cup of tea, the sound of rain on the roof, the soft voice of someone who loves you saying, "Good morning." There's another money lesson I wish I'd learned earlier. Contentment is the highest form of wealth. You can spend your life chasing the next dollar, the next upgrade, the next sign of success. But if you never learn to feel satisfied, you'll always feel poor, no matter how much you have. Contentment doesn't mean giving up your dreams. It means understanding when enough is truly enough. It's that peaceful moment when you realize you don't need more. You just need to notice what's already around you. In my later years, I've also learned that money reveals who we are more than it defines us. When you have little, it shows your resilience. When you have much, it tests your generosity. Money, in itself, is neutral. It takes on the character of the one who holds it. If you're kind, it becomes a tool for kindness. If you're fearful, it becomes a source of anxiety. If you're wise, it becomes a servant, not a master. When I look back, I smile at the mistakes, the missteps, and the lessons learned the hard way, because every wrong decision carried wisdom within it, lessons that money alone could never buy. Learned that patience is wealth, that discipline is wealth, that gratitude is wealth, and that love perhaps is the greatest currency of all. I wish I had known that the small acts of daily living were, in themselves, investments. Time spent listening to a child, helping a neighbor, walking in nature, or sharing a simple meal. These moments add interest to the soul. They may not grow your bank balance, but they grow something infinitely more important: your peace of mind. As the years pass, you begin to realize that money's greatest purpose is to serve your life, not control it. It should make space for joy, not anxiety. It should help you experience life more fully, not distract you from it. When you let go of your obsession with having more, you finally make room for what truly matters: love, time, health, and serenity. I once read a line that stayed with me. You can measure the richness of a man by the things he can afford to leave alone. That's wisdom. The ability to walk past something tempting and say, "I don't need it." The power to choose peace over possessions, rest over riches, simplicity over show. That's when you know you've truly learned the art of wealth. Looking back, the money lessons I wish I'd learned sooner were never really about money at all. They were about values, about how to live a life that feels full, even when your wallet isn't. They were about freedom, not fortune, about peace, not possessions, and about gratitude, not greed. If you're listening to this, no matter your age or situation, remember this: you have time to learn these lessons now. You have time to slow down, to reflect, to realign your priorities. Don't wait until the noise of the world fades to hear your own heart speaking, because your heart already knows the truth. Money is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master. Let it work for you, but never let it own you. Let it work for you, but never let it own you. Spend wisely, save thoughtfully, give generously, and live gratefully. And when you do, you'll find that life becomes lighter, clearer, more meaningful. You'll realize that wealth isn't about accumulation, it's about appreciation. The richest moments in my life were never the ones that came with a paycheck. They were the mornings I woke up without worry, the evenings I sat beside someone I loved, the laughter that echoed through a simple home. Those moments didn't cost a thing, yet they're worth more than all the money I've ever earned. So if I could send one message to my younger self, it would be this. Don't chase money, chase meaning. Don't build a life around wealth, build wealth around life. Because when the years roll by and your hair turns gray, you won't remember the balance in your bank account. You'll remember the balance in your heart. And that, my friend, is the wealth that endures. The kind that doesn't fade with time. The kind that grows every time you share a smile, lend a hand, or simply take a deep breath of gratitude for the life you've lived. So let money serve you, not rule you. Let it be a bridge, not a burden. Use it to build memories, not walls. Because at the end of it all, money will stay behind, but your kindness, your lessons, and your love will echo long after you're gone. That is the wealth worth leaving behind. That is the lesson I wish I'd learned sooner. And that, dear listener, is the quiet truth whispered by time itself. The richest heart is the one at peace. For more videos, subscribe my channel.